Hey everybody, and welcome to Jack's Treasures.
That's not your normal intro.
What's up everyone, and welcome to Jack's Treasures! Is that better?
That was much better.
Okay.
Today is Friday, guys, and it is sourcing day for everybody. Yard sales are everywhere. Everybody is out sourcing now. I see sourcing videos popping up all over the place of people going out there. What do they call them? Picking videos? Picking videos all over the place, guys. Some amazing stuff people are finding. It is absolutely great. So today, Tracy and I decided that we were going to tackle something specific about Fridays and the weekend and yard sales. And that topic is, do you source for different platforms specifically?
Do you source differently for different platforms? How does that sound?
Well, sounds a lot better than what I said because I'm not an English teacher.
Neither am I.
Well, she was a writer.
True.
You were?
But anyway, today we are going to tackle sourcing for different platforms. Is that something you do, something you don't? Obviously, this only affects you if you sell on multiple platforms.
That's right. Which we do.
We do. We primarily sell on Whatnot. We do also sell on eBay. And Facebook Marketplace, I would say right now, is our third biggest platform.
Yeah, we also sell on Amazon and the District.
And Mercari.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. So when you go out sourcing, okay, do you source for those different platforms? Well, I can tell you right now, if you're a storage unit buyer, you better be.
Yeah.
Okay, because that is the best way for you to get rid of a lot of your inventory, is to sell it on multiple platforms. We did not do this for the first, 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years of us buying storage units. We only sold on, we did sell on multiple platforms, but we did not sell on a live selling platform at all. So we had all of this great inventory that was great for liquidation, great for putting up on live auctions, and we just donated it.
Or we put it on eBay and it sat and sat and sat and sat.
Yep, until we ended up taking it to McKay's or a consignment store and getting credit for it. And even at that point, we were really just buying stuff for ourselves or stuff that we could flip onto eBay. Now we're on Whatnot, and being on Whatnot has allowed us, and District has allowed us to literally buy storage units. And instead of 40% of that storage unit getting donated, only about 10% of that storage unit is getting donated, and we're able to do something with the rest of that stuff. So,
okay, but let's set aside storage units right now.
Yeah.
Let's pretend like we're sourcing. If we're going to yard sales, thrift stores, and everything like that, do we source differently for different platforms? Absolutely. There are things that I buy today because I am active on Whatnot that I probably would not have touched 2 years ago. Say we go to a yard sale and they have a bunch of Funko Pops for $2. If I was only selling on eBay, I probably wouldn't look twice at them because most of them are going to sell for like $5. And I'm like,
let's raise the price on it in a minute because it makes it even more appeasing, because $2, we're probably going to buy them, okay, for our thing. But let's say that they're $5 and you're sourcing, okay? Well, now they're at $5, but you see a bunch, and we're talking like about, let's say that they have 20 of them. Okay, now you're going to say, all right, well, $5, that's way too much for me to pay for eBay. Definitely. Okay, unless they're really special Funko Pops. That's even too much for us to use on Whatnot, unless you get a deal.
Right.
Okay, so now you are going to source specifically for Whatnot, but you're going to say to them, going, well, let's try it. Let's see, if I buy them all, what kind of a deal can I get?
Right.
You know, we did this just during the Dixie Highway sale. And we turned a little profit, not a lot of a profit, but this is the first time I've ever done it, is I bought a lot of knives. I had a bunch of knives out on the table. I bought them all. I think I paid about $80 to $90 for all of it combined with
and
a bunch
some
of
extra
other stuff,
items that I
had
wanted.
a bunch of extra stuff that we had in there, and we had our sale, and I sold it all for about $100. Okay, so it wasn't a big,
$125 actually.
Yeah, it wasn't the best turnaround as far as profit wise, but it was the great experiment for us to do where I literally sourced specifically for Whatnot.
And running that quick 30-minute show made all the other stuff we got that we wanted to sell on either eBay or in other shows free.
Yeah. And it was only a 30-minute show. So a 30-minute show, The shipping on it, which I know, I hear a lot of people always talk about this. They say, "Oh, well, when you do that half an hour show, do you add in all of your shipping time when you figure out your profit?" And I'm like, no, because even if I sell it on eBay, I still have to ship it.
Do you know how long it took us to ship that knife show? I did it by myself, and it was about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it was easy.
So let's just say an hour, and we made about $120 or $112 after fees and everything like that. Taking out the money that we spent on the stuff, we probably ended up profiting about $30. So that's $30 an hour.
And like I said, there were several other items that wound up being free. Mm-hmm. Was it our best flip ever? Absolutely not. No. But it was perfectly acceptable, and it was something bought straight for Whatnot.
Volume sellers definitely source specifically for Whatnot platform.
Right.
Okay. Do you source for eBay platform? Sure.
Yeah.
There are some things that are going to be specific to eBay. Okay. When we're buying that, let's take those Funko Pops. Okay. Mm-hmm. When we get them back to the house, we did this, by the way, in Ohio at the Ohio Citywide sale. Thank you, Ken, SSK Promo, and Jill Kacherka. We bought out somebody's lot of Funko Pops. Okay. We found out that one of the Funko Pops was worth about what, $20?
$20 to $25.
$20 to $25. All the other ones ended up being about the $8 range and stuff like that. So what are we doing with the $8 ones? We're running them in a lot on a bundle.
We're in a bundle train.
We're in a bundle train. So we're going to run them and fly them through that, okay? And hopefully we'll turn a nice little tidy profit into that. The one that's worth about the $20, we might put it up on eBay, or we might just say, okay, we're going to put that in our bin on Whatnot. And for about $20, which would be about half of what I paid for the whole bundle, which was $40, okay? But again, it was a very specific item for a specific thing.
Another thing is, if you are a live seller, chances are you have certain things that people expect to find from you. We have kind of carved a bit of a niche for ourselves for being like video game and pop culture sellers. We do sell other things. I've got a country decor show coming. Oh my god!
Yeah, I got a computer laptops.
But for the most part, people think of Jack's Treasures, they think of video games and pop culture. So there are things that I buy with a smaller
and fun
things that I buy with a
and cookie jugs.
Yes, let me talk. There are certain things that I buy.
And letting her talk.
There are certain things that I buy with a smaller profit margin because it adds to the Jack's Treasures shows. So that, you know, I buy things that are like Pokemon because people want to see that in our show. Last night, we sold 2 or 3 Pokemon items. I was out. 3 other people came in and asking, do we have Pokemon? So obviously that tells me I need to buy more Pokemon. Even if the profit's not huge there, that gives me the chance to make more money selling t-shirts, selling, you know, books, selling
video
jewelry, things like that,
that
I do have the big profit margins on, even if I'm only making $1 or $2 on each Pokemon item that I bring.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll sit there, and there was one time we were on the Peaches to Beaches, and Tracy bought a lot of musical instrument books, okay? We knew exactly what we were going to do with those books, and now this is going to amaze you, but we literally took all of those books that we bought for less than $0.25 a piece to McKay's, flipped them at McKay's, which is a consignment store. They give us store credit for all of those books. Then we took that money, which was way more than what we paid for those books, and bought things that were the pop culture stuff.
Loose numbers on this, we paid about $50 at the yard sale, and I got $300 and something in store credit at McKay's, and all I had to do was take it up there, put it in a bin, and turn it in. Looking back, they had a lot more books that I should have bought them out. It's one of those things. There was a lot. I don't even know if we could have fit them all in the truck.
But that was probably the one reason why we didn't, is because it was the second day of the Peaches to Beaches, so we already had a big load. And it was just one of those things where we just can't handle that much, because they had like 7 or 8 tubs of stuff. We
wound up buying, 3 tubs worth?
Yeah.
2 or 3 tubs of it. But that was bought. I took it home. I was like, well, I'll look them up, see if any of these look like they're like just astronomical. And they weren't. They were books that sold for $5 on eBay. But I was able to just take them straight to consignment. We got store credit, and we can buy those Pokemon items. We can buy those video games, the things that people expect from Jack
Yeah,
Chargers.
and here's another thing. We go to some of these stores and we buy comic books for a dime, nickel, quarter, whatever they may be. And we're taking those now to Shop Commons, putting them in liquidation sales, and we're making $25 off of a box of these comic books that we have less than $5 in. So
something else we've started doing just this year is actually sourcing for Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is a great resource because the taxes may be a little bit mushy on that. Not saying Uncle Sam knows everything we make on Facebook Marketplace. But
if you're watching, we report everything.
Number one, and we're able to buy things that other people wouldn't buy because they're not going to flip them on eBay. You buy a giant pool table light for $30. You're not going to flip that on eBay for $300. But
now, unless you really want to ship something that big.
For us, we put it on Facebook Marketplace and we wait. We have the storage space for it. Put it aside, let it sit. We've got a lot of blow molds up that I really expect to blow molds and other Christmas decor that I expect to start hitting hard in like September, October. Things like that other people might not mess with because of the size.
And the cost of these things are so cheap. So when we're going out to yard sales, we literally are now expanded from what we were looking for, which was just strictly for eBay. Okay, sometimes for Amazon too, but it had to be new in the package.
Amazon has gotten down to this much for us, and it may be about to completely end.
Yeah, we have like one box.
Amazon is not friendly to small sellers anymore.
Yeah, there's been a lot of controversy of stuff. They've gated a lot of things because they want those larger sellers. They want the more volume wholesalers.
Shout out to our friend Bearded Picker in Alabama.
Scott.
He's got a lot of content about Amazon and what they have done. So if you want more in-depth information about that, check his videos out.
Yeah. And I know that Tommy, the Buffalo Picker, he's running into a lot of those things.
He's moving into Walmart,
like
I believe.
Yeah.
And he transferring a lot of his stuff to Walmart at this point.
Yeah, and he was big. He was huge on Amazon. It's just, they just, I don't know, they're just closing it up. But we do have a box that we're going to be sending in Amazon. But so
Maybe.
Even when we went, no, that box has got to go somewhere because it's in my way.
It may go to McKay's.
Well, okay, if it goes to McKay's, it goes to McKay's. But we need to get it moving. All right, but here's the thing, though. When we used to go outsourcing, it was literally sourcing for two sites.
Yeah.
It was eBay or it was
Amazon.
Okay, now Macari and all of those things we would cross-list stuff on. Now, some items, like when she was trying to buy a big perfume lot, that was going to go on Macari because you can't sell used perfume on Whatnot, and or you can't sell it on eBay. So we were going to take it to Macari. The thing of it is when you are sourcing now, when we go to a table, we're not even just looking at the table and going, oh, this is good for eBay or this is good for this. Oh, this, if we get all of this is great for Whatnot. This is great for Shop Commons where we're liquidation. This is great for dollar auction. This is great for McKay's and flipping. We've literally driven to McKay's, stopped at yard sales, picked up items that we knew we were going to get more money for at McKay's on the way to McKay's.
It's funny, this is coming out Friday.
Yeah.
We're probably doing that right now.
Yeah,
we are on our way to McKay's today, or we're supposed to be, and we're going to hit yard sales on the way. So I bet you we pick up at least one item that winds up going straight into our McKay's bin.
That's right. And that's just specific sourcing. If you are limiting your sourcing to just looking for stuff for eBay, you're cutting your nose off to spite your face, in my opinion. If you do sell on different platforms. Now, if you only sell on one platform,
and maybe you only have time for that, or you only want to do one, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But if you're on multiple platforms, take advantage of that sourcing material opportunities that you have when you go to yard sales, because other people are not looking at all of these things that you can look at now and go, I could flip that on Whatnot. I could flip that.
I'm going to take one moment here and go in my Whatnot mode. If you're a Whatnot seller and you're not sourcing primarily for Whatnot, you are struggling compared to the bigger sellers.
Yeah.
Because the bigger sellers, the more successful sellers, are sourcing for Whatnot. They are not just bringing what doesn't work on eBay.
That's right. They are not taking their eBay rejects and taking it to whatnot.
We did that at first.
We did.
By
the way, we grew
most
real
people
fast.
did that at first.
We had 6,000 sales in a year and a half.
But if you want to take it to that next level, source for whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Source for better stuff. And here's the other thing that makes it more beneficial. If you do end up sourcing for whatnot, when you do source for whatnot, you tend to buy in quantity. Okay, you don't want to buy like one item for $1 and then try to sell it on whatnot for $1. That's stupid. But when you buy in quantity, like one time we were at a yard sale and they had a ton of plush. Okay, I knew, I was looking at it and I said, this plush and this plush and this plush are probably worth the money that they're trying to get for it. But if I would have bought just the 3, my profit margin would have been very, very low. But if I buy all of it, my profit margin goes up on everything because my cost per item goes down on everything. Yeah, she was locked in a closet because she ran into a closet that she wasn't supposed to go into. I told you I was going to lock you in the closet, didn't I? Silly little cat.
Do not turn us into the SPCA. She does not normally.
She wasn't locked in the closet either. She was right over there.
And it's actually a huge closet. It's a room.
Oh yeah. It's a room. Okay, but these are just our opinions. Give us your comments there down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down if you don't like sourcing for whatnot. I've heard other sellers say, I will never source for whatnot, or I'll never source for the dollar auction. Well, if you buy storage units, you are sourcing for whatnot and the dollar auction, or
wherever you sell.
Or wherever that you sell, because you should sell that stuff somewhere. But going to a yard sale and specifically finding those things, you can find them. We have opened up ours, and it has been amazing that we have been able to buy so much stuff at yard sales now that we don't even have to comp it because we know where we're going to sell it and we know how much we're going to make for it on whatnot. So like, share, and subscribe. Have an awesome sourcing weekend.
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully you are finding a ton of yard sales. Make sure you post up those picking videos. And if you want us to share a link down below to your picking video, go ahead. We don't care.
We'd love it.
Okay. We would love to see that.
Come watch it.
Yeah, definitely we will, because it helps us to find other items that we can flip. One of the best cases and scenarios on this one, we were watching a picking video and we saw them picking cameras, and thanks to another one, gloves, I ended up making a killing on gloves that we saw at a yard sale watching picking videos. So if you have a picking video, put it down there. We'll probably try to do some picking videos when we start doing some more yard sales. It's kind of hot here in Georgia, and we're at that point right now where they have a huge amount of yard sales, and then it goes down a little bit, and then it's going to go back up again. We're in that lull right now, but we'll find some and start doing some picking videos for people.
Support Stop Soldier Suicide.
Yes, and as always, don't go a day without having a cat on your shoulder.
Yes, messing with your hair.
Messing with your hair. Oh my gosh. And don't go a day without
petting a cat.
Peace out from Jack's Treasures, guys.